The low and sleek 300 SL was unlike anything that had ever been seen before, its three-pointed star announcing its pedigree to other motorists. But the car wasn't just good-looking. Beneath the skin, this was a car packed with technical innovation. The engine, for instance, was canted at 45 degrees to achieve this low bonnet line. This bulge here is needed to clear that engine. This second one is really just for styling to balance it out. But most distinctive of all, of course, those gull-wing doors, which gave the car its nickname. As you can see, they hinge from the top rather than from the side. And the reason for that is not aesthetic, it's a technical necessity. The chassis of this car extends right up into the sills to make the car stiff, meaning there wasn't space to have normally hinged doors. The 300 SL's cabin was a riot of 1950s design. The driver's view was more of a 1950s jukebox than a typical traditional dashboard. In front of him, this steering wheel was thoughtfully hinged by Mercedes-Benz engineers to allow easy access. Of course, this is one of the first cars that the driver and his passengers actually sat down in rather than stepping up into. Behind the driver and passenger seat, we have fitted luggage, which Mercedes-Benz thoughtfully provided. The entire boot area is occupied by a racing-style fuel tank, meaning this was the only place that they had to put what you needed for a long weekend away. Even today, it's not hard to see how Mercedes sold 1,400 of these cars at the then huge price of $11,500. For that money, you could have bought 2 Jaguars. The first thing you notice about the gull-wing is that there's not an awful lot of room in here. It's quite claustrophobic, somewhat reminiscent of the cockpit of a fighter plane from the Second World War. A great view across the bonnet, those 2 bulges and the wings. And in front on the dashboard, even the passenger gets to join in with his or her own horn to warn other road users of the gull-wing's arrival. Even by today's standards, the straight-line performance is not bad, and you can imagine that with 160 miles an hour back in the mid-50s, this car was on a different planet. There's little doubt that the ruthlessly Teutonic gull-wing was the extraordinary sports car of its era. But in 1965, a new challenger emerged, from Italy. And here it is, the car for which the term supercar was first coined, the Lamborghini Miura. What really set the Miura apart from other sports cars was that it made no attempt to serve as a sensible form of transport, no concession to practicality. It was pure automotive indulgence.